You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AFTERBUZZ TV for the final season of Entourage. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Entourage news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AFTERBUZZ TV for Entourage.
And then there were two.
And then there were the D's.
The D's. You know, we hold it down,
That's
though.
all they need. It's all you need.
It's nice when Lillian and Chris and Sydney and whoever else is here, but at the end of the day,
They have valid opinions, but
I'm going to go on the record. I think we're the biggest fans.
well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to diss anybody else.
No,
to try
we
to
love
say You're
them.
not good enough.
No.
But there's a certain level of not good enough when it comes to how big of a fan they are.
Completely.
Because we're
I
the big-
agree.
We've followed from the first show.
Oh, yeah.
I don't believe that they have.
We're a little sickly addicted. They're just addicted.
We're the SFs. We're the super fans.
I love it.
Yes.
Welcome, everyone, to AFTERBUZZ TV.
Hello.
Thanks so much for chilling with us here on your Sunday night. Final season of
A
Entourage.
late Sunday night.
Yeah, 10:48. What time do we usually go on?
9.
Yeah.
-ish. Yeah.
Okay, so we're keeping it real sexy and
You're in
real
your
late
PJs.
over here.
Tweet us. Let us know what you're wearing.
God, don't you wish this was a pajama party?
That would be fun.
We need to bring our onesies next week.
Okay. I have footsies just for this occasion.
What's the pattern? That's how I'm going to judge you, depending on the pattern.
It's plaid.
Red plaid?
Yeah, red plaid.
Okay, I can work with that.
Because that way I can fit in Silver Lake if I need to.
Oh, keep it real with
Right.
the hipsters.
Yes.
I was hoping for some sort of like a cartoon. I
Like
could see you
a-
rocking a SpongeBob or
I could perhaps like a Scooby-Doo.
oh,
I get shaggy
perfect.
sometimes. I've been shaggy for a few Halloweens, so I think that could be.
Awesome.
I'd be down.
I'm
Yeah.
all about it.
All right, what's your onesie?
I have a few solid colored ones. You know,
Okay.
I just have like a red one. I have a pink one.
Okay.
So maybe next week if
We'll
we're
be
on late
matching.
again,
Yeah,
I would love to do that.
onesie party.
Yeah.
We're in.
Okay, so we've got Entourage. Episode 6, The Big Bang.
The Big Bang. Now,
Good title.
I
Multifunctional
guess,
here.
yeah,
So obviously alluding to Melinda and E from last week.
because they banged.
They banged.
Right.
With a vengeance.
Yes.
And then obviously the Big Bang with the Johnny Galecki
Big Bang
cameo.
Theory. Right.
Yes.
That's the name of the show, Big Bang Theory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Sloan.
Sloan.
How could you do that?
Right. What you're talking about banging Galecki.
Dating Galecki.
We don't know. They left a lot of unanswered questions there. They just went out to dinner. People can go out to dinner. We could go out to dinner.
Okay, I
and
suppose.
then they wouldn't, we wouldn't have any huge backstory. So it
That's
could be.
true. But you never know. She's a very pretty girl. He's an
He
actor.
is very pretty.
There could be some ulterior motives there.
And he seems like a little bit of a dick.
Yep.
So.
And you know girls respond to that.
And he was dating what's her face on The Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
And she seems out of his league, so perhaps he's the kind of guy that dates girls out of his league.
She's amazing. And by the way, quick shout out to Kaylee's little sister, Brie Cuoco, who I'm friends with, who killed it. She danced with Pitbull and Neo tonight at the
Oh,
VMAs.
Well done.
Kaylee's obviously a phenomenally talented actress, but Brie is just as talented
Okay.
in the dancing arena. So
Dancing.
good job, Brie. I
Well
watched
done.
and I love you for it.
Now I will watch it.
Yes, you definitely will.
Yeah.
She's a cute girl with short brown hair.
Oh, I'm in.
Can't miss her.
Great.
So did you like it tonight? We're down to this was the third to last episode. So
Well, my first note was I like that they started with the girls in the bikini. This scene is a very kind of throwback to the first couple episodes and the first couple seasons. We're starting with girls everywhere. It's really for no reason.
Yep.
And it seems all very superficial, which is why
gratuitous bikini shots.
Which is why we all love the show.
Right. It's bread and butter.
Yes, but then so many conflicts. I was stressed at the end with the drama situation. I still don't know if I believe it. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But
That had me on the edge of my seat.
yeah, there's a lot of stress in this episode. Turtle is stress. I don't know. I liked it, but it's like every other show. It started off well, but then it got very like Sopranos-y or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Roxy Stryer. Can we get her on the line, Jess? We can. The first show that you and I ever did together, Roxy called in. And she made a point how no matter how awful your week was, you could always guarantee that Sunday night Entourage is going to come on and you're just going to instantly be put in a better mood. It's not really doing that for us anymore. I'm stressed out. I'm stressed for Vince and his bad piece of press. I'm stressed for Turtle and his restaurant that might not open. I'm stressed for Johnny, who might not have a show anymore. I'm stressed for Billy Walsh, who can't pay for maple syrup. And I'm stressed for Ari, whose marriage is literally about to crash and burn any day now.
I don't like any of it.
I don't like any of it either.
What's going on?
Yeah, E's dating life is...
He's having sex with 50-year-olds?
To his credit, Melinda Clarke is damn
beautiful.
beautiful.
Looks like she just got out of high school.
Yeah, okay. Yes. She's very well preserved.
Right.
But wait, first of all, let me just introduce you and Jesse, who's in the booth, who's going to be participating tonight. Because he's a god, and why wouldn't he be participating?
Yes.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, David Abed.
Here. Thank you.
Multidimensional actor, host, public relations guru.
Whatever you need, I probably am pretty good at it.
I mean, is there anything you're not good at?
Well, I don't play golf well.
Okay. Well, neither do I. So we have that in common. So we at least can commiserate together.
Yes.
And then over in the booth, you can't see his cute little face, but I can. And I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. He's a very good-looking man.
Uh-oh. There's something going on here.
Can you talk to us?
Yes, I sure can.
Okay.
DJ Jesse Janity.
And a very good voice, too.
He does. You have a great voice.
Mm-hmm. You have a bit of a radio voice. It's slightly different in person than it is on the air.
But he's good enough looking to be on television.
Yes,
Let's go ahead and throw that out there.
He doesn't deserve to be in the booth. That's just where he ended up.
No, absolutely not. Well, I heard rumors, AfterBuzz TV rumors, that we are going to be getting a 4th camera.
Oh, where is that? Oh, for the booth.
For the booth.
TV exclusive.
Can you go ahead and release an official statement?
We will be getting a camera in the booth so you can see my shining face.
Well,
yay, your cute little smile.
I hope Anderson Cooper's up on this because it's big news.
Anderson Cooper has got a lot of competition when it comes to DJ Jesse Janity, okay?
Listen, yes.
Let's call it like we
I would
see
love
it.
to see Anderson Cooper press as many buttons as I can press while hosting a show.
I don't know if he could.
Absolutely not. But can we just please talk about I haven't really ever gotten into Entourage until this season, honestly.
Oh, okay.
To be truthful and honest.
Be truthful and honest. Are we the reason why you got into it?
Yeah.
Yes,
you're like, well, it looks like good-looking people really like this show.
It's good-looking people who have amazing things to say about it.
And Turtle's on the screen, and I fell in love. Like,
and I worship him as well. David Abed can vouch for me.
No, I can vouch for you on that. I'm a little confused by Jesse's falling in love. You just seeing his face, you fell in love.
In love.
Okay.
That's all it takes.
Wow.
Everything about him.
He's got a cool
obsessed.
He's got like a good sense of humor, but it's not like an obnoxious sense of humor. I don't know. There's just some je ne sais quoi about Jerry Ferrara / Turtle.
Yes.
Because I don't know how far off Jerry's personality is from Turtle.
Can't be that far.
Because they both are like cool, sports-loving guys from Queens. Yeah. But yeah, I'm totally on the same page with you there. I love Turtle so much. Did you like tonight's episode, Jess?
I did like tonight's episode. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
Right, see?
Okay.
You feel like you have to say
end. I liked at the end, the whole the finaling with the deal, getting the deal for the show. I can relate to that. Been kind of seeing a lot of that going on out here. In Callan, you got to play the game.
You do, and it can get really scary sometimes.
Very scary.
One of the things that, well, let's just get it out of the way because I hate talking about it. So we'll just get it out of the way in the beginning. Ari's marriage crumbling.
Yes.
Melissa. With Melissa. Oh my gosh.
There it is.
After
she
8
looks like
seasons.
a Melissa. What's the actress's name?
Perry Reeves.
So okay, they didn't use her real name.
No, she doesn't look like a Perry to me.
No, when I think Perry Reeves, I think Superman because Christopher Reeves. So it throws me off every time.
I mean, I don't know. I think Melissa's a very fitting name for her.
Yeah, she looks like a Melissa.
A good, strong American girl next door sort of.
I have brown hair and I'm tall.
Exactly,
That's what that
and I'm
name
really
says.
thin.
Yeah,
yes,
very thin.
Not to generalize, we love all the Melissas out
I'm
there.
sure. Look, yeah.
She's really dating Bobby Flay.
She's dating, but
they're like doing cooking together.
But what did we learn? We learned they're not having sex. And they're
taking it slow.
She's really only getting kisses on the neck. So what does that do? It leaves doors open for she's not really sleeping with somebody, which was what we've discussed in previous episodes, saying that seems really cold-hearted.
To move on so entirely.
To be separated and to be banging.
She's just merely getting to know him, which I'm glad they sort of revealed in this episode because I like her a little bit more now than I did last week.
I think when people are watching, they might not realize that something's being revealed. Something's under what they're really saying without saying it is there's room for them to get back together.
Yes.
Maybe she's not as much of a cold-hearted bitch
as we thought. Jeremy Piven's acting in that scene was phenomenal, as usual. I think he's such a great actor.
Well, now that he's had an entire season to work on his crying abilities, I hope that he's good at it by now.
Yeah. Surprising that Ari didn't pummel, what's his name? Bobby Flay from the get-go.
We've jumped a little ahead here, but this is where we'll start with this scene.
Well, I want to start with it because it makes me sad, and then I want to get on to the more fun storylines.
Got it. Okay, so I'm wondering if I missed, and Jesse, feel free to jump in here. What was the big turning point for him in that scene? He went from "I'm going to punch you in the face" until she said guys, and then he just switched.
Do you think it could be that he subconsciously knows there's nothing to be threatened by? You know how they say people fight when they care about each other. If you're not willing to fight with me, that means you're obviously so over it that there's like no passion there. You don't even want to talk about it.
I've heard real girls say that.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think maybe like drawing a parallel from that whole bit, I think Ari maybe knows deep down inside what his wife likes. He said he's known her since she's 19 years old. Maybe he knows deep down inside there's nothing to be threatened by. Bobby Flay is not what she likes. She obviously, if what Ari's what she liked for 20 years, you don't just go and date someone completely different, which Bobby Flay seems to be on a physical, emotional, all sorts of hair color level. He's a genetic mistake.
Right.
Jesse, do you have thoughts on that?
He's away from the microphone.
Oh, okay. We'll give you a second.
Well,
what do you think? Because he really did do a full.
I have to say, from like watching it from a character and like an acting standpoint, that didn't seem to be what he was giving us. He seemed to be giving us like a period on this statement kind of reaction. Like he accepted defeat. It almost seemed like maybe he felt that he had been hurt so much, so many times that he tried so hard to care. Maybe that's it. Like he was trying so hard to care. The whole episode was he wanted to be nice.
Yeah.
You know, I need to see her in person. And then I think everybody reaches that point where they just fall off the mountain. And maybe
he walked out of his own house.
Which she continues to be so nasty.
Yeah, she said that it wasn't his house anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm pretty sure he paid for that probably.
Let me just ask a question on monetary things, which you probably won't know, but maybe you will. I don't know.
I know. Are you saying that I don't look like a legal expert?
Listen, I know all those
on equitable division of the assets.
We've discussed our accounting classes that we've taken at great lengths. But so they split all their assets 50-50. Yes. Standard divorce. I don't know why that was like a surprise in the episode. Oh, you're going to have to split 50-50. Oh, like every other TV divorce we've ever seen in our lives.
Yeah.
But so he has to split 50% of his earnings, but yet she still gets 100% back of the loan that she gave him when they're married?
He needed the money to start up the Miller
but they're married
agency.
So what he's borrowing from his wife?
That might have been money that like was in a separate account that a dead grandfather left for her or something. I don't know. I've never been married, so I don't know if when you inherit money and then you get married, if that all becomes one big lump sum and one big bank account. This is also TV land, so they're probably maybe they're doing that for plot and story's sake.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yes. Because now he has, I love that quote, I wrote it down, by Barbara. And she said, who would have thought chauvinist Ari Gold would one day have his balls held in both hands by women?
Yes.
One, Barbara Miller. Two, Melissa Gold.
The writers really like spelling out what's happening. It's like, do you understand what's happening to Ari?
Hey, that's great. It's great for the uneducated viewer.
And I kind of had a moment when Beverly D'Angelo, that's her name, I was like, oh, she's still on the show. Like, she's really been like a guest star regular for quite a while now.
Yeah, many seasons.
And when I think of the show, she never pops into my mind. But yet she's always just kind of there.
I like her because she's sassy with him.
She's very sassy.
And it takes a sassy woman to go head-to-head and be partners with somebody like Ari Gold.
Which is funny because she's from all the Christmas Vacation movies.
Vegas Vacation, which is my personal favorite. She's godly. I love her. But yeah, you know, poor Ari. He's got 2 more episodes to show us his true colors.
I thought they'd be farther along somewhere by now.
Yeah, they've kind of drawn out the whole separation thing
drawn it out.
It's been 6 episodes now.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that all pans out.
Yeah, it's like they used to draw like a big thing, like a movie was the through line or Vince's whatever. But now it's just like each individual plot line is drawn out, and the through line is just, I don't know, maturing. I don't know what the through line is.
I mean,
do you think it's for the buildup of the movie?
But did they know they were going to do a movie?
Yeah, they've known it for ever since season 7 wrapped. That was when the chatter all started. It's like, there's rumors that HBO is probably going to cancel Entourage. Let's make sure that we can lock in a solid movie there.
I mean, that seems like a bit of a cop-out to lead up to a movie.
Right.
We deserve better than that.
Completely. And, like, they didn't really do that with Sex and the City.
And the movie's at least 2 years away. They got to film it, write it. I mean,
come up with the concept. Completely. Do we want to talk about, let's get on to a happier note.
Okay.
Melinda. She's back. I thought she was just going to be in last week's episode. No, that's Sophia. Melinda Clarke, the gorgeous.
Oldie.
I don't think she's that old. Hold on.
Okay. Well, she's a mom.
I mean, she was really hot on the OC.
No, listen, she's a hottie. Okay. The hot, older, but not too old. Between a
She is. How old do you think she is?
Well, I just saw you say so I'm going to say 48.
Jess, how old do you think Melinda Clarke is?
Do you know who we're talking about?
Yeah, the hot lady that you slept with last week.
I'll give her...
It's in the 4s.
Yeah. 43.
She's 42. She'll be 43 next April.
Between a MILF and a GILF.
What's a GILF?
Grandma.
Oh!
Ooh, whoa.
Never heard that before.
Well, you haven't watched enough American Pie movies.
Apparently not. I've seen the first one.
Well, if my grandmother looked like... Well, not my grandmother.
Jesse, where was that going? Where was that statement going?
Yes, next.
You know, it seemed like when they were having that lunch, well, first of all, Melinda gave E a $300,000 Mercedes, which is not believable because she's not George Clooney and she's not Julia Roberts. So I don't think she's in a financial position to just be giving out lavish gifts like that.
Yes. And we didn't get to see it, so I'm thinking, well, maybe Entourage's budget isn't as big as we thought it was.
Well, that's funny because the guys have teased about that. They said at one point during production, we were going to... I always forget how to pronounce it. Is it Cannes or Cannes, France?
Right. I think it's the Cannes Film Festival. It's Cannes,
right?
Cannes.
Okay, so they went to Cannes. They've gone to Mexico. Yeah. They've gone to Hawaii. They've gone to some very nice locations. And then I believe it was Kevin Connolly who was like, yeah, and now we just go to Earth Cafe.
Right.
So who knows if it was a budget issue.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could get a car loaned for the day.
Right,
hey, you'll get mentioned on Entourage, whatever. True. But they're at Scarpetta. And it kind of seemed like Melinda wanted more. Sure, she wanted seconds.
I think it more than seemed. She wanted some more E. She wanted to take some. She wanted to pop some E and roll around on the ground.
Nice pun. I like what you did there.
Thank you. Well, I'm here all night.
Yeah.
So my question for you guys is, with their relationship, has E been keeping himself at a distance in the sense of?
I think he wants to obviously get back together with Sloane, the love of his life. Okay. And by sleeping with her ex-stepmother, it's probably not a good move, especially when Sloane made it evident to him last week over the phone that she was furious, that she had heard rumblings of Melissa's going to try to sleep with you to get back at my dad.
Right.
So it's this whole like incestuous family drama going on. I don't think E is looking for seconds because it can ultimately jeopardize his chances to get back with Sloane.
Yeah, and you have to think, if they're gonna get back together, this should have to happen like next episode. I mean, you're gonna have the cheesy last episode. I was wrong.
Yeah, and then they both get on a plane and move to New York together or something like that.
So, and it seems like that's not gonna happen.
She wasn't in this episode.
She wasn't.
No, which is disappointing because I love her.
No, and she was only in the other episode to say F off.
Right. So for 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. She has a cushy career right now.
All right, so we'll see where that goes.
All right, and I just wrote down why pirates. I like just noticing why writers do things. You know, why put
the pirate-themed birthday party?
Yeah, why, you know, do you think they just sat around and go, where would be a funny place to put this scene?
I think pirates is very appropriate for Billy Walsh. I don't think his daughter would be raised by Billy Walsh. I don't think his daughter would be the kind of girl who would have a My Little Pony themed birthday party.
Right.
Because he's such a cuckoo.
And I think...
Did you see how into character he was? He looked like Jack Sparrow.
That's true. And it seems like it does make his anger seem a little more comical.
Yeah.
Right? Because if he was at like a boxing thing, it would almost maybe seem like overbearing.
No, it's hysterical to see the dichotomy between his like anger and a child's birthday party.
Yes.
I think it's fantastic. But yeah, good note. I always forget about those little details that the writers have to think about, which we maybe ordinarily wouldn't.
Yes.
Do we want to talk about the Johnny drama issues? Or no, let's talk about Sophia Lear, the journalist.
Okay.
So she came back again this episode. I thought we had seen the last of her.
So, well, we had varying thoughts on what her device was for the show, why she's even here. Mm-hmm. What do you think? What did you think about her reinsurgence? I think
she's a tough cookie.
Tough cookie.
And she's having lunch with
UCLA professors.
Yeah, a UCLA professor, so she's got depth to her. She seems like she likes doing cerebral pieces like that. She doesn't necessarily want to be profiling actors.
Right.
And she seemed like she'd kind of like set her piece. Like, look, I interviewed you, I wrote it, it can't get edited, so thanks, but goodbye.
Right.
I just don't think that they're a good match. I think Vince wants some Sophia in his life, but I don't think that she's going to be given that up too quickly.
Yeah. I mean,
what did you think?
I agree with everything you said. And
because I'm always right.
Well, it's amazing. And it seems like what they're going for here is like how vulnerable is Vince? And what have we learned about Vince? We've learned that he really wants people to like him, which I think we can all relate to.
Yes.
We learned that he's realizing he's never had a meaningful relationship. Though I didn't like when he said, since Mandy Moore, we were kids. Well, I was like, whoa.
Don't discredit Mandy Moore. You loved her at the time.
Second of all, that was like in your second or third season. It was only like 4 years ago, dude. Or like 3 years ago. Like, you're a kid.
Yeah, little things like that.
Yeah.
That we caught.
So, but it's also like we always kind of knew Vince was a vulnerable. I didn't ever think he was like a totally superficial guy. He always seemed so I don't know really what their point is here.
I think the point is that he's ready to buckle down. The parties, the girls, even at the photo shoot that he was at, there were half naked girls running around everywhere. I feel like in previous seasons he would have been like, "Hey, what's up?" but not really so much anymore.
Right.
What was he even telling that waitress?
Right. Oh, and I did want to. Yeah. Well, he was wondering, what was it like between me and you? What did you think of me?
Right.
She thought you were surfacey, and I just wanted to think. I thought, awesome for that girl who gets a random phone call 2 months ago that says, "We're gonna bring your character back for an episode of Entourage." How excited is she?
Oh my God! To an actor, it's probably like the greatest feeling in the world.
It's the best. Yeah, I did Days of Our Lives a few months back, and they're always like, "Oh, we bring characters back a lot." So every day I do look at my phone. I'm thinking maybe today's the day. Well, it's not the day yet, but maybe after the show, they might need that lab tech back to deliver some more.
That's what you played?
She wanted me to figure out if the DNA results were if her husband really was her husband. So she came to me because I'm the best
lab tech out there
in town.
Wow.
Look at this face. It doesn't lie with DNA.
Did you do a lot of method acting, some preparation for this intense role?
I called up LA DNA labs and I said, I'm going to need to shadow your DNA lab techs for at least 3 months.
You know what? That's why casting directors should hire you. You take your craft seriously.
So I am available for now to do other projects, but
if you need a DNA lab specialist, you know who to call.
There's a lot of CSI shows out there.
Law and Order, all these shows dominate.
Listen, I didn't mean to I didn't mean to talk about me for more than 20 or 30 minutes.
I think the thought of you as a lab tech is absolutely worthy of being talked about.
Okay.
Yeah, completely.
And so, but my bigger point, shout out to that girl. Congrats.
Yeah,
for getting a job.
100%.
Right.
Just on another realistic note.
Okay.
Coming from the inner journalist inside of me.
Yeah, you had some thoughts on that.
I did, because that would never happen.
I think you need to set this up.
Okay. So basically, Vince gets word that the Sophia Lear article is going to get published soon. And he's a very, very antsy about like, oh, what could it possibly say? Blah, 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 blah. This needs to be like his reemergence into society to debunk any methods or any notions that he's still might be an addict, a womanizer, a party boy, whatever.
Right.
So they get a draft of the piece, and it's pretty good for the most part. 6 pages of like solid, he's a new person. But she did throw in a little paragraph about how she found him to be, what was it that she, like a womanizer and.
Right.
Okay. He's very, very put off by it. I don't think as much for the reason that people are going to be reading that as much as he's bothered by the fact that he thinks that she thinks that.
Well, that's what we learned in their little scene.
Right. So from a journalistic standpoint.
You're a journalist.
I am.
You were at the VMAs tonight.
I was at the VMAs earlier. Yes. And here's an example. If you talk to me at the VMAs, my recorder is on.
Okay.
or my microphone is on, whichever medium we're doing.
Sure.
If you electively come over to talk to me, anything you can say on the record, when you're at an event, it's on the record, will be used at my discretion, at my editor's discretion.
Sure.
You don't get, hey, let me do an interview with you. Okay, I'm going to type it up. I'm going to send it to you to make sure you like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go ahead and publish it with all of your corrections. It doesn't work that way.
All right.
Because there's a difference between journalism and free advertising.
Sure.
There's a very fine line between the two.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
Unless you wanted to rant.
No, sorry.
Okay. No.
Done ranting.
No, it's good.
I'm just saying, why did they consult a print journalist?
No, well, and I think even as a layperson, I thought the same thing. My reaction wasn't as visceral as yours was, but I thought the same thing. It's like, what? You don't get a copy, though. Jesse had an opinion on this, but what if you interviewed Johnny Depp?
Okay.
Or whoever you think is the biggest star.
Sure. Yeah, arguably him. Sure.
Okay, so would there be any danger if you talked a little bit of crap about him, and maybe he said something that was a little off the cuff that you thought, would you think, I don't want to jeopardize down the road?
It's 100% subjective on the journalist's part. Some journalists have, relationships with people, and they want to make sure that they maintain those relationships so they don't say anything bad. But with the most part, I think this girl works for a magazine.
Yes.
And usually in these magazine pieces, you'll be reading it and they'll start it off like, I met Lady Gaga at a table.
Mm-hmm.
While she was twirling her hair the whole time and chain smoking cigarettes. Like, they don't spare any of these details because most of these people that they hire to interview them, they're not like friends. Like, Vince had never met Sophia before, so this girl has no allegiance to him.
That's right.
So something like that, in that sort of a case, if you're going to be writing a profile piece for Harper's Bazaar, for Vanity Fair, something like that.
Sure.
You don't have like loyalty to the subject. You're a journalist. Your observations and their words to you are strictly what you use to formulate your piece.
You're a CNN. You're not a Fox News or an MSNBC. Right.
I work for Fox News.
Right.
So don't even go there.
And so Ed saying that, like you said, David, I did have a story in that sense. That's a true journalist. That's someone who sticks to what their job is supposed to be. I know that we recently, while we were covering The Voice, Carson Daly has a radio show, and Britney Spears was supposed to have an interview with him. And he even admitted, it's nothing on Britney's side, but her publicist or whoever was dealing with Carson said, look, we'll do this interview, but after we're done with the interview, we need the tape. We'll edit it, and then we'll give you the interview that you can have. He said, absolutely not. That's not what my job is. That's not what it entails. And he didn't do the interview. He has nothing against Britney. He wrote a statement out towards her, basically to let her know what her people are doing. So my question is that more along the lines of it's just basically paying journalists off to give the story that they want in that sense?
Well, first of all, legitimate news organizations do not pay for interviews.
Right.
So I've never paid for an interview. The companies that I freelance for have never paid for interviews, and I'm very proud of that because once you start getting money involved and stuff like that, it gets shady.
That's how those morning shows lose their credibility because you hear stories of
Well, yeah, and you know what? I can't speak to that because I've never had to do a hard-hitting interview with a mass murderer or with somebody who got acquitted of something. I only do entertainment. But you just really need to be careful about what you're doing and take your job seriously. I like what Carson Daly did because he's not here to sugarcoat or to do anybody a favor. I'm here. I have this massive radio show. If you want to come on and get some publicity and plug whatever it is you're going to plug, you need to come on and you need to let me ask you some questions. How you answer them is entirely up to you. You can always plead the fifth. People do that all the time. Hey, I'd rather not answer that. Is that okay if we just move on?
You're also allowed to submit questions that you don't want to be asked, correct?
The publicist gives you talking points usually ahead of time. People get creative and they think of ways to dance around that. If you can't ask about dating life, you can ask something like, in the arena of that. Like, people are always asking you about your dating life. Does that ever get annoying? And then you didn't ask about their dating life.
I like that question.
Yeah.
It's a good around the now. Just to.
We need to end this. Sorry, we're talking way too much about journalism here.
I know. I was gonna say. Okay, we'll move on.
No, but no, finish.
Did you see that that political woman that walked out the Piers Morgan show?
Yeah, Christine O'Donnell.
So what did you think about that? Bad, right? Bad for her. Not fair. Because he went off the talking points. You don't want to comment.
I don't want to talk about that. Not going to comment on that.
Move on.
But yeah, look, if you sign up to be a guest on a show, these people just, they understand that you're going to be asked questions. You're not going to be asked about your favorite ice cream flavor.
Right.
Okay, you're going to be on the show and get all this free publicity, and everyone in the world is going to know what magazine or what perfume you're plugging, what book you're plugging, X, Y, and Z. You just need to be prepared to have answers. And that's why you hire a publicist, because they can help coach you and give you the media training that you need. Exactly. So
how about segue into what's on the TV screen right now?
Oh gosh, the Don Pepe's owners.
And David Spade.
Now, how long have they been in the play
in the
of
story
this season?
plot?
The story.
Right.
Don Pepe's?
Like 2 or 3.
2 or 3 episodes. Yeah. Avion, the tequila line that Turtle had been an investor and he was just an investor, and then his girlfriend was like the face of the company. That all went up in flames.
Yes.
The company decided they didn't need Turtle anymore. His girlfriend, who's a spokesmodel, broke up with him, so he was kind of down and out. And he said to Vince, I need a new endeavor. I have this, I caught the working bug. He finally, at 30, decided he wanted to start working.
Right.
And he said the one thing that LA is really missing is a great, was it oysters? I'm not familiar.
Yeah,
Let me
they
look
did
up Don
say
Pep.
oysters. They did. Oh, no, you said oysters. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hold on. Let me look up Don Pepe's to see if it's a real place.
Well, and we were discussing, and maybe our listeners could tell us whether these are the real owners or not. I don't know if anybody would know that. They seem like they possibly could be.
They have the New York accent thing going on. They very well could be actors, but...
Right. They look like restaurant owners.
Yeah. And I'm sure the wife was playing an exaggerated version, either of herself or a complete version that's not even near her, because that girl was way too star happy. If you live in New York, it's not like you live in the middle of nowhere. She's probably used to.
True.
And if you have a high-class restaurant, I'm sure George Clooney or whoever eats there regularly.
Good point. Yeah, and that whole scene, it was like a downer scene. It's like they're, Turtle's trying so hard to be, an entrepreneur, and these people are kind of spitting in his face. Didn't they go over an agenda before this?
This is what comes up, a picture of a lobster.
Okay, so
lobster and steak specials.
Okay. We're looking at the website right now.
Yeah, I want to see if there's a little profile piece on the owners or something.
Right.
As my battery slowly dies.
We're divulging into Don Pepe's.
Yes. So I applaud Turtle's entrepreneurial desire to further his career.
Serve Turtle at the restaurant.
Is oyster? Assorted seafood?
It would be fair to say that it's a seafood restaurant with very nice wooden doors, almost like a Santa Barbara looking feeling.
Yeah, like a mission-y sort of a feel to it. So anyways, he's trying to bring this out. The couple seems more concerned with the Lakers tickets and the David Spade sighting than they do with, finding the new space for the restaurant and figuring things out.
Again, it's like everything in this episode seemed like a stall tactic to get to the next episode. What are we figuring out except for Johnny Drama seems to have a show?
Yeah. Well, thank God for that. We'll go ahead and end the episode on that note. Johnny Drama is literally almost in tears. He's hysterical. He thinks that Dice is being too greedy. Dice is saying, my people are negotiating with the network. I guarantee you everything's going to go through. So Johnny gets the call from Phil. Phil is very evil and tells him that Les Moonves will never, ever make the Golden Retriever movie.
I like that guy as an actor, by the way.
William Dafoe. Yeah.
No, that is not William Dafoe. What are you talking? You talking about the agent guy?
Wait. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
That's not William Dafoe.
Wait, why am I confused?
No. I don't know what that guy's name is offhand. It's not William Dafoe. Jesse? Could you do a little...
Can you... what's his name on the show? Phil on Entourage.
He was in Batman as the banker in the beginning. He was in Contact as the blind control room worker guy. I've seen a few exposés on him on how his career has just been slowly building.
William Fitcher.
Fitchner, sorry. Thank you. I was confusing my Williams.
Well, I'm impressed that you knew. You were on
I
the
knew
right
William.
track.
Okay,
you knew more than I knew.
I got 50%.
You got... Well done.
Okay. So a failing grade, 50%.
That you will not get through school with that.
No, you will not.
But you get through AfterBuzz with that.
Yes.
So, well
the
done.
stakes are a little lower here. But yeah, he's in hysterics. He gets the call from William Fitchner. And he goes, you know, give me an answer. Yes or no, are you in, are you out? And Johnny sides with Dice like the loyal guy he is and says, not until Dice's contract is
I'm gonna
through.
be sick, bro.
Right.
That's
I'm gonna
what
be
he
sick,
says.
bro. That was a nice intonation you had there.
Thank you. It's manly.
And then immediately after Dice gets the call, screws with Johnny a little and says the show's canceled, but then ultimately comes back with the zinger that the show is on.
Right. But we didn't have confirmation. Why aren't Johnny's people calling him and saying that confirmation? You know, if this was about Vince, if this was Vince's storyline, he'd have 7 calls right now.
100%.
So I mean,
but Johnny's always taken the back seat to Vince. He gets Lloyd and Vince gets Ari. So
right. But and they both have new shows going on network.
Oh my gosh. I saw a billboard for it.
Yes.
It's something about like guys. It's about Johnny or him and another guy.
Yeah, and I actually saw an ad on television.
Does it look funny?
Speak. You know, it looks like standard. It looks like Johnny. He's playing similar kind of character.
Yeah, I hate when actors get typecast.
I know. I don't want to talk bad about the show, so we'll wait. We'll
give it a fair chance. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break.
Let's take a break.
And we don't have too much gossip tonight, but I do have one funny little thing that Dice said. So, Jesse, take us to a commercial.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig! The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on. AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, so welcome back to AfterBuzz TV. Deidre Behar here, chilling with David Abed, DJ Jesse Janity in the booth. Not too much gossip this week for Entourage, which is a little disheartening. But I do want to just make a quick mention. I was at the VMAs earlier on the arrivals carpet, and Andrew Dice Clay showed up.
Yes,
he walked the carpet, and you know we had this conversation.
Sleeveless shirt.
I don't remember what he wore. I was too mesmerized by those sideburns, and he had a really cute girl with him.
Nice. Well, good for him.
Good for him. My one little piece of news that I saw online earlier was someone had interviewed him and asked him about how the comedy game has changed.
Sure.
And he just said something along the lines of, you can't just say anything anymore because everybody's so sensitive and whatnot. He said, if you want to go to like a fun PG show, go see Jerry Seinfeld. If you're looking for something a little more naughty, come see me.
Right, which I don't think he had to say that for us to know that was true.
Yeah, pointed out the obvious, but still.
And I think that is true, but yet I've been to numerous comedy shows around town, and there's plenty of racist, sexist, sex talk flaring about, so
100%.
I don't think we're in any fear of becoming too much of a politically correct society.
Right. Any given night at the Laugh Factory, it's mostly targeted at racial humor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Racial humor or relationship humor? That's what I find to be the two big things.
And I kind of think it's important, actually, because, you know, there's a lot of humor, and humor is often commenting on something that's real, and I don't think rarely ever is any of the people saying it actually racist or sexist.
Completely.
I think comedians should have the freedom to say these things without being judged or put on YouTube like politicians are.
Yes. Absolutely. Well said.
Yes.
But, sorry, I just want to touch on a conversation that you and I had earlier in the season. These shows, like Entourage, can take an actor or somebody who's sort of down and out, like Dice Clay, who hadn't really done much in the past couple of years, and can completely resurrect somebody's career. And I just thought, wow, you know, would he have been on the VMA carpet last year?
No.
Do you think he gets invited because now he can say I'm a regular on Entourage?
Oh,
or I'm
totally.
a recurring guest?
Oh, totally. And yeah, it's guest stars can do big things for actors. And even this is a grand scale of what a guest star can do for an old celebrity, but I think it can do the same thing for a struggling actor who now may have the ability to get a series regular job instead of just those co-stars or a guest star. So these type of shows do a lot of good things for actors. So I think it's important to stay on the air.
Even more so to the point and the power of like how great this show has been for him. I was looking through a gallery this week on the internet of like the best VMA moments in history. And apparently he got banned from the VMAs many years ago.
I remember that.
apparently the ban was lifted, courtesy of Entourage.
Any ban will be lifted. Ricky Gervais possibly hosting the Emmys. He was banned not too long ago.
And apparently the Golden Globes want him back.
That's right. Yes, that's what I meant. The Golden Globes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, so no one's banned. Producers are willing to do anything for ratings.
Absolutely.
So. And I was gonna say, I think for next time we have a outgoing question like, what's Ari's wife gonna be named? We should go around the horn and come up with what we think her name will be. Then somebody can win. And we can have a series of winners and losers, and that makes the show more fun.
So you want to set some stakes.
Is there any stakes we can set for next week? Let's set a stake right now.
Okay, so let's pick something out of this.
I got one.
What?
Will any storyline be resolved in a positive way next week?
Okay, well, let's just run it down. Ari and his wife are not going to be repaired until... Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're getting into predictions as we play our little game.
Sorry. Predictions. I didn't mean for it to be a prediction, but it turned out.
No, but nice segue there.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I've been doing this for
a very long time. Yeah. I don't think Ari's marriage resolution is going to conclude until the 8th.
We have Ari and Melissa as a possibility.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, so Deidre says no.
Okay, David says...
are they going to be in love next week? My prediction is no.
Okay, so we agree on that.
Deidre and Dave
agree.
No.
2 thumbs down.
Agreed.
Will E continue a sexual relationship with Melinda Clarke?
2 E questions.
Okay.
Will he bone?
Melinda again.
Melinda again.
I say no.
Probably not. Okay. I'm gonna say yes just to compete with you.
Okay.
So
for argument's sake.
Yeah, maybe he'll get drunk. And maybe it'll be a revenge type of thing. But I don't think him and Sloan are going to get together next week.
I think they will in the 8th episode.
But next week is the 6th episode. 7th episode.
Right. So I say no. They're not going to get together next week.
Okay. So I don't think so either.
Okay. And then.
Is Johnny Drama's show a go next week? Are they shooting next week?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we agreed on everything except the one that you...
I'm sure we have one more outstanding thing.
Oh.
Vince and the reporter.
And the journalist. No, not happening.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. So keep those predictions.
Yes.
Jess, do you want to contribute anything? Do you have any thoughts on any of these storylines?
I just believe that... I kind of think the Vince thing, I think she is going to go with it.
Yeah.
What, she'll be impressed by his persistence?
Yeah. Well, that, and I don't know. I don't know if I felt some sort of... I don't know if it's going to be an attractiveness involved right there, but some sort of feeling bad and being like, well, you know what? Maybe this guy has kind of been...
A come to Jesus moment, as they say.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so I think that might happen. I don't think he's going to hook up with her. And as far as the Sloan thing, I think they're going to do a pull of Sex in the City and wait for the movie.
Right, but so we'll know that they end up together, but then we'll see the relationship carried out in the movie.
Yes.
All right, I can work with that.
Okay.
Shall we call it a night?
I think we've done a good job.
I think we did a really solid job tonight. Not to pat ourselves on the back.
I mean, I'm not gonna call it the best show, but we could.
I'm gonna call it the best show.
Okay, it's the best show. I mean, we look really good for this show. You're bedazzled with the rings.
I do it for the VMAs. Well, I mean, I do it for you.
You could have took them off, but you didn't.
I didn't.
I'll give it that it was better than the VMAs.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
but I mean, what isn't?
Uh-oh. You'll have to watch the other AfterBuzz show for all that news.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope you had as much fun as we did.
Tons of fun.
Tons of fun.
Yes.
And we will see you here next Sunday night. Hopefully Maria Menounos will be joining us. She's appeared on plenty of episodes on Entourage. She even got a name drop last week. So hopefully we'll see some of her. Maybe we'll even get some guest appearances from some of the actors. You don't know what these two are capable of.
I'm just saying we're building the show to an arc.
We really are.
There's going to be it's Mount Everest over here.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
On that note, have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Sweet dreams.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Ciao.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.